How you doing? This is Vince, or Vinnie, and this is the world according to Vinnie. This is December 29th of 2020. What a year. And what I wanted to do was a final video of 2020. This is going to be the year-end look of 2020 looking at absurd news, sports and politics from the world according to Vinnie. So, welcome everyone. If you've not subscribed, if you would, hit the subscribe button and hit the like. And if you really want to see when I do these once or twice a week, there's a little bell. I'm new to all this, so if you could click that notification and share this with everyone you know. This is a new endeavor for me, and I really appreciate anything you can do to help me get this up and running and expand this. I've got some plans to do a separate channel with my girlfriend Sherry, Vince and Sherry's Excellent Adventures. That's going to come after this first of the year. We'll see how that works. But let's get down to absurd news stories of 2020. First of all, though, I do want to hit this. This is a, whoops, there we are. This is a Crown Heads Mil Diaz Edmundo. I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's a medium to full body. You can get this at a lot of your brick and mortar. I recommend that. Always buy local. Mine is the Office Cigar Lounge in Floyd's Knobs, Indiana. And I want to give a shout out to Tom Uhl, who's the owner and takes care of everybody that comes up. So check him out if you're in the Louisville area. Great place to go. If not, get a Crown Head. This is a very, very good cigar. So I'd like to do that. All right, let's get right to it. Absurd news stories of 2020. Got several here. I think I got 4 or 5. Number 1, at a paleontology conference, used a profanity filter that actually blocked the word bone. It's kind of hard to study that field if you don't use the word bone, because that's kind of related. It's number 2. This is a good one. Audio fiction company apologizes for accidentally doing an audio blackface. Yeah, I said audio, not video. Audio blackface. And I guess the story goes on. They hired a white actor to read a black woman's essay for an audiobook. They concluded that this was ridiculously racist. Interesting. Reading a book. Don't get that one. Now this is an interesting. Number 3. This is bizarre. Now, first words I'm going to say is a anti-gay Hungarian politician. The key would be anti-gay politician. He resigned from his office. He was caught in a 25-man orgy. Anti-gay man. That's absurd. Number 4. This is a good one, and I want to give a shout out to my friend Mike in Iowa. He sent this to me, and he was right. This is absurd. Iowa County, Michigan, a Grand Haven couple will have to pay for disposing of their son's pornographic collection. Young boy, it's terrible that they found him with that. Oh, but wait, hold on. David Working's 42. He was 42. Yes, I said he was 42. He sued his parents. He did, oh, okay, this is better. He left on August 2017 for an incident and moved out. He still would have been 39 years old. Still 39. Living with his parents. Okay, that's a whole nother thing there. It appears he won and will receive $25,000 in damages. Wow. That's absurd, and he needs help. Okay, this is wild. Number 5, San Francisco may remove Abraham Lincoln's name from one of the high schools in that city because a district committee says the 16th president who abolished slavery, remember that, Abraham Lincoln, did not demonstrate that black lives mattered to him. Lincoln is one of the dozen of historic figures who the City Schools District Renaming Committee argued led lives so rife with racism, oppression, and abuse, and that their names should not grace their buildings. This is from the San Francisco Chronicle reported this. Abraham Lincoln did not do enough for the black Americans. Now that's news of the absurd. Absolutely. All right, we're going to move on. Let me take a... Okay, I got to light that, I think, again. Want to look at some questions concerning politics. You all know that I like politics, and this is some things that caught several people's eye. Most defining political moments of 2020. Let's go through those. Number one, elevating Dr. Fauci. He was like anointed a king with all the mistakes and incorrect false predictions. They treat him like he is something else, and he was wrong a lot. And in fact, just recently he's moved the goalpost back again. We'll talk about that another time. Number two, Donald Trump's first debate performance. This really may have crushed his chances being as competitive as he was. If he just would have done what he did in the second debate performance, things may have changed. But he did not. Number three, big one. March 16, 2020. A day we may never recover from. And the reason I say that is when it was announced by, I call him King Fauci, to lock down for 15 days to flatten the curve using the failed and incorrect Imperial College Doomsday model of COVID-19. If you remember that, they used this model, the Imperial College. It gave local and state officials the unconstitutional powers. And everybody caved. We all just went, okay, we'll believe you. We believe in the science. I hear that 100 times. Sorry, I was wrong. But let me do the biggest winners of 2020 regarding just in general. Number one, I'm going to call it fear. Yes, fear of COVID-19 and government decisions to limit our freedoms. That's who won. It's going to only get worse. Sad. Number two, biggest winners of 2020, the rise of the Chinese Communist Party. Thank you, Joe. It's coming to a town near you. All right. Number three, disinformation on suppression of real information from the mainstream media and the tech giants which censors our free speech. Yep, they were winners. Doing a great job. Sad. We have to take it back. Now, let's move to the biggest losers of 2020. And I'm going to just start right out and say it's we the people. Following lockdowns, following election stuff, embracing fear when it's less than 1% death rate, we lost. We are losing unless we do something to win again. Number two, Mike Bloomberg, for spending $1 billion on his campaign and looking ridiculous in the process. He spent $1 billion. If you watch that debate when he was on the stage with the Democrats, it was actually out of control. He was crazy. He just looked like, huh? But it was only $1 billion. No big deal to Mike. Number three, I'm going to say, actually truth. Truth loses because we were being misled by politicians and the mainstream media and social media. Yep, the truth lost. Now, let's switch to another one. Best politician. This is going to be good. I'm going to throw it out to Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, for looking at the real COVID facts and the death and infection rates And he actually acted accordingly with not total lockdowns, but proven steps to allow businesses to stay open and still be better than New York State with Cuomo's ridiculous, unlawful restrictions. And Cuomo's just continuing. I guess he's going to win some award. Crazy. Number 2, another governor, Krista Noem from South Dakota, who managed her state the most effective with the state's situation. Yeah, they only have a lot of, so many people, but she handled it right. And they're doing all right. Number 3, best politician, and they are politicians, local sheriffs. And the reason I say local sheriffs is because they refuse to follow the unconstitutional orders and the COVID fear-mongering. They went, no, sorry, this is my city. Not going to happen. Just not going to happen. Love it. Love, 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 love it. Got to make sure I'm getting everything here. Now, number 4. And last, Dr. Fauci for convincing others to go along with his completely wrong and sometimes contradictory actions. A non-politician that achieved more power than many politicians. It's crazy. Now, last thing I think I'm going to talk about, I want to hit, let me just make sure I got my notes all good. Yeah. This is the last section I want to talk about. It's the top sports headlines of 2020, according to World According to Vinnie. First one is LSU wins the college football national championship title. Joe Burrow, second, wins the Heisman Trophy. Unfortunately, he was drafted to the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think he's hurt. That's sad. Top sports headlines of 2020. They actually did the NFL draft, and it happened remotely. Actually, I watched it. It wasn't that bad, but wasn't as great as what Nashville put on or what Las Vegas did. So hopefully this coming year or the next 2 years, they'll bring the draft back the way it was. But I would say it wasn't a big loser. Next one, Titans upset Tom Brady and the Patriots. That was big news. Big news. Now, again, going out to my friends in Kansas and probably Nebraska, Mike in Iowa, big fan. Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl, their first in 50 years. It was Patrick Mahomes he's unbelievable. So, congratulations there. Now, for Bob Snook, some soccer fans, Liverpool wins the title in the Premier League. It was the 30 years since they won their last championship. I was shocked about that. But I think this was on ESPN Sports I was reading. So, anyway. Tom Brady, next one. Tom Brady joins the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, shocking the entire Northeast. They had to have ambulances and the hospitals. If you thought COVID was tough, the hospitals were full of people just jumping off buildings and didn't know what was going on. It's a joke, but that was a big day. And last thing, Denny Hamlin wins the Daytona 500. That's just some top sports headlines there. I believe that's all I have. Now, I'm going to be working on something probably after the first of the year, because it's the 29th, December 29th. All I'm going to say is, if you're a cigar smoker, go out and support your local. If you have a nice little downtown area, support local for them. Last thing I'm going to end on is, let's don't give up. I know the election's over. It's pretty much done. But let's keep the pressure on about, remember I talked about the voter registration. We have to clean that up. So please contact your politicians and say, hey, let's make sure the voter rolls are correct and accurate. That's all I'm asking. That's my big push, and I'm going to be pushing it for the whole year. So, this is Vinny and the world according to Vinny. So, check me out probably next week. I hope you like this. Share everything. Please subscribe. And I will be seeing you soon. Happy New Year. And everyone take care.